So this one is going to be a two-parter. The first part is super angry, download some RAM, ranting, and maybe yelling. I don't know yet. We'll see when I get there and I start riffing. But if you're a little defensive about TSM or you're not feeling that vibe, you probably go ahead and skip it. Probably just go ahead and skip that part. Skip to the second part. Second part is where I talk about what I think went wrong and what I think should be done about this whole situation. Because I think making changes is obviously 100% necessary. But at the same time, I also think just general mentality changes are gonna need to happen. And they're gonna need to happen fucking badly. So let's just go ahead and get into this. If this group cannot get out of group stages, we will never get out of group stages. Personally, I don't think I've seen professional League of Legends players play that poorly in my entire life. You get absolutely exposed 2 games in a row by WE and Misfits, and then you just roll over and lose in 24 minutes to the 0-5 Flash Wolves. Really? Really, that's what we're going with here. Jesus Christ. TSM is a embarrassment to North America right now. They have been for the past 5 years at this point. Just nothing but an absolute show internationally. And nothing has changed. No matter who is playing, no matter who is coaching, we have been absolute trash in international competition, and it doesn't look like it's going to change anytime soon. Week 1, we were looking pretty okay. We started out with deficits, but lo and behold, week 2 rolls around, and we look like we forgot how to play League of Legends. This team has spat in the face of fans, of opponents, too many times, in my opinion. It needs to either completely change or we need to get the out of League of Legends as a competition, okay? If we can't take any of this and learn from it and retain the information for once in our goddamn careers, then guess what? We don't even deserve to be taking up a spot going to an international competition that we're gonna flop in no matter what, okay? Because we don't learn. We just don't learn. This organization does not deserve us as fans right now. They don't. And to be honest with you, they're gonna really have to pull some and do some serious work to get me to have any level of respect for them ever again. It's miserable to have this sort of thing happen. And just so damn consistently every single time. This is a perfect mirror image of exactly what happened last year at Worlds. Are you kidding me? This is the exact same thing. We go 2-1 in the first week and then the bed so hard when our group day on week 2 comes around. And it's astounding because what the difference is between last year and this year is our playstyle is completely different in every single way. Last year, we were the best snowballing team at the tournament statistically, or at least for the first week. I honestly can't quite remember, but we were one of the best snowballing teams at the tournament for sure. And week 2 comes around and they exploit that. Everybody that we're playing completely exploits it. And we have no answer because at that point, we don't know how to play a long game. We just can't go past 45 minutes without getting absolutely shit on. And so you hard cut to this year, we're 2-1 in the first day of groups. In the first week of groups, rather. And guess what? We have the best late game. We have the best late game team fighting, even mid game team fighting of anybody that can try and take us right now. And we're just rolling people in these fights once we get to mid and late game. But what did we sacrifice by doing that? every single last semblance of an early game. We just gave it up. Or did we forget how to run an early game comp between this year and last year? What happened? We need to start retaining information, or we need to stop playing League of Legends. If you skipped over the rant portion, hi, good to see you. If you sat through the rant portion, you will already know one of my main points here, and that is mentality change. Or at least how we play the... Yeah, it's how we play the game, but it's also the approach we take in playing the game. That being the retention of information. TSM have been kind of goofed on for being meta slaves for a very, very long time. But something that's becoming more and more apparent, and has been pretty apparent ever since I would say last year at Worlds, is that we have absolutely no answer outside of the meta at all. We have zero adaptation in our game whatsoever. And I think this is partially coaching, partially mentality, things like that. If something doesn't work for TSM, and what I think is what happened between last year's Worlds and this year's Worlds, is they said, okay, this sort of this hyper-aggressive dominant early game stuff isn't really working for us. Scrap it. Get rid of all of it. Just dump that information from your brain, and now we're going to learn how to slow down a game and just snowball to a win in a mid to late game focused comp, right? What they didn't expect, apparently, was the fact that they were just trading one massive glaring weakness for another massive glaring weakness. That being, oh, they used to have no late game rather. Now they have no early game to speak of at all. Is there any problem in trying to sit down and say, let's find out what worked about our hyper-aggressive early game compositions and playstyle like at last Worlds? What worked for us then? What can we apply as a situational, composition, or as a situational strategy for maybe if somebody tries going hyper-aggressive in the early game on us? Can we not sit down and retain and learn from what we have done in the past? We need to learn from our prior mistakes. We need to learn from our playstyle, we need to learn from our opponents, and we need to take that information and we need to retain it. Keep it over the years. Because a lot of the strategy, even if the comps are different, even if the playstyle is a little different, the underlying strategy of a lot of these things should be the same over time. SKT is not the best team in the world for, 4 years running now? They haven't been the best team in the world for 4 years running by just sitting around and every season dumping everything they know about League of Legends out the window and trying to relearn a new style. That's not what they do. I guarantee you there are things they learned in Season 3 that they're able to apply to this Worlds. And that's what we need to be doing. And it is so frustrating to sit here and watch this happen over and over and over again, because you would think that all the players and all the coaches and all the coaching staff just completely forgot what was working for them prior. Because if we had implemented, let's say we go back to last year's Worlds, we, get knocked out in group stages, we sit down and we say, okay, we need to really, really, really focus on our late game and our mid game and our, playing the game slowly. Okay, great. Do that, but had they also said, we need to take what worked about this early game strategy and this hyper-aggression and keep it in our back pocket, sort of store it for if somebody tries playing hyper-aggressive against us. It's exactly what happened during this Worlds, and we just had dumped. It reminds me of that SpongeBob thing where the two pilots are in the crashing plane and they're like, we gotta drop the load! But the load is all of our knowledge about League of Legends and how it works. And every season we just drop the load and we're like, all right, great, time to look at all this space in here now. Time to relearn League of Legends. It's fucking infuriating. It is infuriating and it needs to stop. I think I'm done with the retaining information bit. Personnel changes. Okay. Parth needs to go. Svenskeren needs to go. The rest of our coaching staff needs to go. Maybe Doublelift needs to go. I'm not sure, because I don't know. It's just he hasn't been playing super well, and granted, that could be a result. I've seen a lot of discussion about that being a result of an incredibly weak jungler, not being able to provide counter pressure for the bot lane, which got absolutely hammered in every single game that we played yesterday. Every single game, they would just absolutely smash bot lane by bringing the jungler down there and just having them pitch a tent and just sit there in bot lane, because they know for a fact Svenskaren's not coming to do anything. So I wouldn't say get rid of Doublelift just yet, but keep that on the back burner. Bjergsen, Jesus Christ, that man does not deserve to be on this team. I guess we as a team don't deserve him. Like, one of the best mid laners ever to play the game, and this is what we do with the rest of the team around him. Granted, he hasn't been so hot internationally. I don't like his super passive playstyle internationally. His Cassio game against, was it Misfits? His Cassio game against Misfits was absolutely spicy, and I guess I would like to see more aggression out of him. But as a whole, we should just be begging him to stay, because if I were Bjergsen, I'd be looking for a team that actually had a chance of winning internationally, is what I would be doing. But you know, that's just me. And then we have some of the best talent, some of the best native North American talent in Hauntzer and Biofrost. They are amazing. Hauntzer played, I would say, pretty damn well this Worlds. He was fantastic. He was a rock like he always is. And we're really doing him a disservice by just absolutely being a wet paper bag in the early game and not letting him get to a stage where he can really contribute and really help the team. Because he's been solid, and I think he's fantastic. We definitely need to keep him. We definitely need to keep Biofrost. He's a fantastic support. His Rakan is insane. It's ridiculously good. And so I think the definite roster changes that need to happen would be Svenskeren needs to go. He really needs to go. I've been saying this for quite a while now. And Parth needs to go. I've also been saying this for quite a while now. I don't think Parth is fit to be a coach. He's probably fine as an analyst, but I don't see him as the really inspirational leader that a team can kind of rally around. Yeah, I highly doubt anyone on TSM has ever gotten together in a huddle and been like, let's win this one for Parth. No, not happening. No, he's not inspirational. So that's where I'm coming from. This was a salty one. Wow, this was a really salty one. I guess we'll see what happens. Depending on the changes, I'll probably make a video if they announce the changes, reacting to those changes, what they were, and how they, came to those decisions. But at this point, I don't know, man. We've just been so beaten and so battered, and just TSM has spit in our face too many times, and I gotta say my patience is really wearing thin. I want to just kind of pick myself up and be like, hey, this is gonna be, we'll get them next year, but if we continue on this trend, we very, very clearly, we'll win NA, sure, but who gives a shit? We'll win NA, but then we'll go internationally, and nothing will happen like it has for the past, how many years. So, I don't know. I'm hitting the panic button. I'm hitting the serious panic button. I've been a fan of TSM back since the days of Chaos, and this is, I guess, the first time where I've ever really, really been questioning my fandom, or my fanhood, I don't know. I've been questioning why exactly I'm a fan of TSM, because for so long now they've just absolutely spit in our faces, and I'm obviously sticking around. I'm obviously gonna be here, but damn, they are really gonna need to win. I think they need to win us back as fans, because they've been absolutely brutalizing us these last couple of years, and in order for us to be as passionate, especially me. You know, I'm sitting here making all these videos because I'm passionate about the team. Especially this past split, and even especially this Worlds, I don't have anything to be passionate about right now. I'm incredibly angry, and so I guess that's why I'm so passionate this video. But as a team, nothing. I have nothing for them right now. So they need to win us back as fans, and they really need to prove to us that they changed, and they're making serious mentality shifts in addition to the roster changes, because otherwise it's just going to be this vicious cycle that will never end, and we'll just keep being disappointed year after year. So that is my hot take on Worlds 2017 and the state of TSM. Hopefully you guys agree to some extent, at least. I guess I wouldn't be ranting this hard if I didn't care. But I remember I watched up to the Misfits game last night before I fell asleep, and I remember we beat Misfits, and what went through my head was, okay, WE is more than likely going to beat Misfits. I really, really hope TSM doesn't fuck this up against Flash Wolves. I already knew that the consistency of the Chinese teams and of Europe and how those things would play out, you can already kind of bank on those things. But you can, I hate to say, you can never bank on TSM to do anything, because we'll win against the best team, we will lose against the worst team. And it never ceases to be immensely frustrating. So hopefully you guys agree to some extent. I hope you hang around. Like I said, I don't think I'm going anywhere just yet, but might be knocking on the door. So keep an eye out for some of my other stuff. If you guys are subscribed because you're just TSM fans, I'm gonna be making a bunch of TSM content still. Maybe my focus will shift from League to maybe another one of the TSM teams, or maybe Smash or some shit like that. I don't know. Who knows? We'll see. But if you're subscribed for the old boy here, I'm definitely gonna start making some more content. I'm in the process of recording a bunch of Flash game gameplay. You know, just playing through a bunch of old Flash games, like I said in the video before last video, I think. And I'll hopefully be able to release those somewhat regularly. So hey, regular content, that'd be pretty sick, right? So yeah, just keep an eye out for that. And whew, this one was a tilter, boys. This one was a real tilter. TSM, you really need to do some soul searching in order to keep us as fans around, because even the most dedicated fans can only be slapped in the face so much. So, all right, well, hope you guys enjoyed the video. Hope you guys enjoyed the rants, and I will catch you later. Bye-bye.